Hey, I'm Zach Clapsaddle.
Brendan Morrow.
Okay, and so right here we've got a really cool space collaborative. So if you want to start off by, I believe, talking about your portion here, and then we can kind of move our way down.
Sure, this is the Space Police Penitentiary. We've got landing pads in the back, bringing in prisoners, taking them into the penitentiary, command center up top, command tower, communications. Inside the command center, we've got a fully lit interior. Got the holo table with the miniature version of the display in there, the screen in the back. Yeah, they're under attack, so things are a little heated right now.
Yeah, I think it's really impressive. I love the way you did this whole base. When you were planning this out, how do you do that as far as you sketch it, or you just kind of start building and it goes from there? How's that work?
Yeah, there were some initial sketches, and then from there it's pretty much just, I have this shape in my head, so let's just start building. Keep it all, hard to sleep at night sometimes.
Lots of ideas rolling around. Well, that's very cool. So we keep moving down here. What else do we have in the collaboration?
This is a collaboration between 4 builders really that did all the landscaping. There is, we basically did video chat sessions where we kind of talked about what we were going to do, set it up, lots of photos, text exchanges going back and forth, making sure everything lines up. The Tron portion back here, we try to incorporate movement, lights, things that are of interest to the public that draw their attention. The Tron base was also, my portion is the right half over here of the Tron facility. It started out with the ring structure of the main building there, and just kind of went from there. And we kept adding ideas, and the layout kept growing wider and wider. We got a lot of movement. We added a monorail kind of last minute. Again, someone came here and we're like, this needs a monorail. We're like, yeah, we didn't have any monorail. And they're like, oh, I have a monorail at my house. I'll bring it tomorrow and we'll set it all up. And we're like, awesome. So everyone, we put out a call out to a lot of builders and said, hey, if you want to build in the classic themes of Space Police, Blacktron 1, Tron, or Futuron, let us know, or just show up with stuff. And it's very heavily populated. Lots of minifigure action, lots of ship action, lots of awesomeness.
Yeah. It turned out great. So you kind of got those couple themes you mentioned there, and then I know just now you mentioned a couple others. So sure. For people who aren't familiar with those themes, what do we have down here?
Sure. So we have the on the left side of the dial is the Blacktron invading force. Really, we have a huge drop ship that is coming down in the center that created its own crater. Lots of troops coming out of there. We also have like 200 Hero Factory bugs that are part of the invading force. It was kind of as if the Blacktron guys kind of summoned them out of the ground to help with their invasion, and they're just taking over the Futuron base, taking over and advancing towards the Space Police and Tron base.
They're a little uncontrollable. You can see they're kind of cutting into the Blacktron's own forces there. Yeah. You mess with nature. Just watch out. So
that's right. You never know what's going to happen. So then I guess we've got kind of the final theme down at this end.
Sure. So the final theme is Futuron, and we really wanted, in the initial sketches, we had the Space Police and Tron mining facility, and we wanted to represent the civilians in some shape, way, or form. And Futuron is really kind of the civilian space faction. The scientists have awesome lights up there, a lot of sensor arrays. And really, there's the canyon or the riverbed in the center, and we really wanted to have large structures on each side of it to kind of tie it all in together. And the Futuron base came together wonderfully. A little bit different rock setup than on the other side, but we kind of felt that would maybe have happened when the river eroded away or whatever it was that happened.
So, some kind of interesting backstory there.
Exactly. That's really the end of the dial. We also have the beginning of the Blacktron invasion with the Renegade ship, really upscaled to ship scale. That's kind of where it started.
Blacktron forever.
Blacktron forever. Thank you.
That's right. So when you guys brought all your builds here and started putting it all together, were there any issues as you kind of figured out how it was all going to go together, or was that pretty smooth?
It was extremely smooth, shocking to a point how smooth it was. I think it was the preparation that really had it go together so well?
We did a lot of planning. Probably, the 4 core builders who built the base and the rocks. I probably got 100 text messages a day for the last 2 weeks as we brought the final pieces together. Everybody's just sharing photos and stuff. So really glad I have an unlimited texting plan. Yeah, a lot of late night Google Hangout calls, a lot of debauchery and drinking, and hanging out with your buddies virtually.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it came together really well. There wasn't any section that didn't go together the way that we had planned it, which was, again, surprising, in my opinion, that it came together so well.
Yeah. Right. And most of our mechanisms, even after 4 days of running, are still working, which is pretty incredible. I was expecting more things to break during the process. And
That's awesome. And one more thing I noticed behind the build, you got kind of this backdrop. Was that something from the very beginning you guys had wanted to put that back there?
It wasn't from the very beginning, but we had definitely talked about it, and it kind of was originally just going to be a black space, maybe some stars or whatever. And then the ideas kind of started going with this guy Brendan here, and he kind of
we wanted to have a backdrop because we knew, like, if we were going to get good photos of it, the only time it would really be completely assembled would be here at the con. And if we took a lot of photos with, random people in the background eating sandwiches, then, it just doesn't quite have the same effect. So that was kind of the inspiration for the backdrop. And then, once form follows function, once we're like, okay, we need a backdrop, what are we going to put on the backdrop? And, after just a couple seconds of thinking, it was kind of a no-brainer to copy the original box art from the old Blacktron sets, from the old original space sets. But we went with the Blacktron colors because Blacktron.
Yeah. There you go. Well, I think this whole thing turned out amazing, so I really appreciate you guys talking with me about it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Blacktron for life.